It is my great pleasure to welcome such a dynamic and enlightening speaker. Before handing over the session, I would like to take the privilege of introducing ma'am. She completed her UG from Amrita School of Ayurveda, Kollam, and did her PG from SDM College of Ayurveda, Udupi. She hails from a traditional Ayurvedic family and presented numerous papers in national and international seminars. She was the former faculty and course trainer of cosmetology wing in SDM College of Ayurveda. She is currently working as a co-founder and chief physician of Heal with Food, Trivandrum, Kerala. Now, I would like to hand over the session to ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you all for this nice introduction. Okay. So everyone, I welcome you all for this session on medical cosmetology, opportunities and challenges. See, everyone has their own definition of beauty. What I perceive beautiful may not be beautiful for the next person. It varies from different person to different person because beauty is a guna. Gunyate amrandate iti gunaha. So what we perceive because of that is the beauty. I hope I'm audible. Okay. So I would like to ask you, like, how many people find the following set of women beautiful? We all know Aishwarya Roy is considered one among the most beautiful women in the world. You have Kuria Diop, who is the melanin goddess. We have Sai Pallavi, who had just shaken all the beauty norms and is known as the freckle beauty. And we have Lakshmi Agarwal, who's an acid attack survivor, and even she is beautiful in her own aspects. So what exactly is beauty? So the definition goes, beauty is a combination of qualities such as shape, color, form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. So if it is pleasing to your eyes, we feel that it is beautiful. The physical beauty of an individual depends on three factors: the contours of the body, the texture of the skin, and the quality of your hair and nails. The important question is, why is there this much importance given to beauty care? We all know skin is the largest organ and it is the most visible part of our body. And healthy skin is an indicator of a healthy body. So if there is anything which is first reflected on the skin, we ourselves feel, okay, this is something which needs to have immediate attention, because having some spots in the skin or some discoloration on your skin is, it actually reduces your self-confidence. There will be a social isolation and etc. So usually beauty care always has a higher predominance in the current society. So there are various factors which affect the texture of the skin or the beauty of a person. So we have the uncontrollable factors, which is out of our hands, and we have the controllable factors, which actually helps us have a good skin or a healthy skin. So the uncontrollable factor is the natural aging. So we have, we cannot control our aging process, but we can always age in a beautiful way, provided there are some people at the age of 50, they do not look an age older than 35. Whereas there are people of the age 35 who looks as if, they are nearing to their 50s. So it depends on our lifestyle, how we control our aging, and the environmental factors. Like if you are in a very sunny place, there will be more melanin production, your skin becomes drier. If there is a humid place, there is still the sebum glands get coagulated, there are higher chances of your skin now having excessive sweating, etc. So these are something which we cannot control. But there are controllable factors. There are a lot of food which is actually good for your skin, which maintains the elasticity of the skin, provides a good collagen to the skin, incorporates all the vitamins and minerals, which is very much necessary for your beauty or your entire lifestyle, entire health to be good. Also lifestyles. There are certain factors like the use of cosmetics, maybe unhealthy practices like indulging in alcohol, smoking, etc. All these in due course gives you a very harmful effect, starting from the skin to all the organ system in your body. Ayurveda has very specifically given us a daily routine or the dinacharya, which if followed in the proper way gives you a healthy skin. So you have the first evacuation of your bowels. Once, if those people who know, like if there are a person who is very prone to getting acne, if you just look into their bowel history, they will either have a constipation or they'll have hard bowel. They will have difficulty in elimination of the bowel. Once your bowel is evacuated properly, you can actually notice that your skin becomes clearer and more healthy. Scraping tongue actually is very good for maintaining the oral hygiene. Brushing and gargling also helps you the same. It gives you a good breath. It gives you well-formed cheek muscles, and you will have a stronger jaw. Nasya, we can see in many of the cases of premature graying and all, Nasya is being administered. Abhyanka gives a moisture to the skin. It moisturizes the skin and it actually tones your skin nicely. Bath and shower maintains the luster of your skin and it helps in removing the dirt. We also have Udvartana, which is mobilizing the fat in our body and also improving the complexion of a person. And yoga and meditation, along with your exercises, is very much good for improving your circulation and giving you a properly manageable physique of yourself. But always, when we start off with the dinacharya, the first thing we learn all the theory, but how many of us practice dinacharya? We don't do abhyanga daily. We don't forget about getting in Brahma Muhurta. That is something out of question. Most of the people nowadays go to sleep at that time. We don't have all these, many people don't take bath daily. They don't have Shiro Abhyanga. They don't do all these things. Exercises even goes once or twice a week or once or twice in a month, or it's a big no. So people always find this dinacharya is a very good way, which is to maintain your health, but it is the hard way. So we always seek out for the easiest way. And easiest way for maintaining a good skin, at least to show that you have a good skin, is your cosmetics. So by definition, cosmetics are articles which is intended to be rubbed, poured, sprinkled or sprayed on, introduced into or otherwise applied to the human body for cleansing, beautifying, promoting your attractiveness or altering your appearance. So you have all sort of cosmetics coming from your head till your toes, which is helping you achieve all these functions. But if you look into the ingredients which go into the cosmetics, it is actually not a cosmetic, it is a cosmetics. It is a cause for various things we have, the conditions or the health conditions which we have. And being an Agada Tantra faculty or a postgraduate in Agada Tantra, we always consider this one of the Garavisha. So we know Garavisha acts in three ways. You have Ashu, Chira, Chiratara. So this is very much appreciated when it comes to cosmetics, because there are certain conditions where you have a instant reaction, which is very ashu. Like we have had cases when a person is applying a hair dye, within maybe an hour or so, they develop rashes, they develop severe burning sensations, or some people who apply some sort of face cream and all. Initially, they have a lot of side effects or maybe untoward reaction, which is not expected from that cosmetic. But that is not always, it's a very rare. So Ashu case is very rare. But we also have in long course, there are most of the cosmetics on the initial stage, initial application, maybe on the first 1 month or 2 months, they give a very good result. But what happens is once you stop it or once on prolonged usage, there is untoward skin reactions, which is not being expected. So we have both the conditions, Ashu and Chira. And for this, the only option they had given was herbal cosmetics, which is very much high in demand. So if you look into the next time you get a herbal cosmetic, just have a glance at the ingredients. So if you can, though they claim it is 100% natural, you can just note that maybe the herbal extract which is going into this cosmetic is maybe less than 1% or maybe 2 to 3%, nothing more than that. Because anything herbal, which if it has to be stored for a longer period, they would need to have some maybe stabilizers, maybe some mild preservatives, which they say is the approved, government approved stabilizers, but it is not the case always. So we should understand what is the chemicals which goes into this. So if you see, the most common chemicals is paraben. If you have seen, like most of the organic products, they advertise paraben-free shampoo, paraben-free moisturizer. So you can note they have a lot of side effects, ranging from a small skin lesion to cancer. Even the use of talcum powder, there are certain studies which says that, you know, the continuous usage of the cosmetics have led to various cancers. Like lead is a very common ingredient in all the kajals. So we know there are various reactions, and if you just to give you the number of chemicals in the products which we use daily. So shampoo, the average number is 15, and on constant use, it is like irritation, possible eye damage, neurological damage. So these side effects do sound very sophisticated, which will it really happen just because we use a shampoo? Though we may not get all these side effects, but there are studies. All these has been published after various researches which has been conducted abroad, not in India, but almost all, because of the number of chemicals which has been added onto these cosmetics, it is very much hazardous to our body. And now we should understand whether the organic cosmetics, what they say, herbal cosmetics, are they really safe? Are we like, can we just use them without looking at to or just referring about them a little bit more? So with this, you know, actually many people think the herbal cosmetics are being marketed saying Ayurvedic cosmetics, and Ayurvedic people actually don't have a lot of insight into this cosmetology. So we should understand the importance of Ayurvedic medical cosmetology, the opportunities we have, and the challenges you are going to face once you enter into this field. So we'll start off with the challenges, because we should always understand what we have to face. Then we have to overcome them and establish yourself. The first and most important thing is whether to refuse this or accept it as a part of Ayurveda. So when we usually start off as a cosmetology department, they're like, okay, is it something required for Ayurveda? Is it not something a beautician would do? So understanding or making the person understand and getting an acceptance is a very big challenge, because most of them look down upon the science, saying that, okay, this is something which people with no other job does it. But we have a very large potential for cosmetology. And almost every corner you go, there is an Ayurvedic clinic or a beauty clinic. So almost all the people, they have put their beauty parlors as herbal beauty clinic. And if you go into it, there are people, the procedures will be Shashtika Lepa, maybe Pindasveta, Patra Pindasveta for the healthy skin. So the terms also what they use is similar to your Ayurvedic product, Ayurvedic procedures. But still, if you look, the persons are not qualified doctors. They are just beauticians. They have just put the name. They get some idea from somewhere and they start their own branches. So what happens is the name of Ayurvedic cosmetology is actually hampered when it is being done by a person who does not have any background on the skin, what lepa is to be used in what type of skin. We usually get a untoward reaction, and people say, see, Ayurvedic cosmetology is not that safe. You get a lot of reaction. But that is not the case when you understand the science and do it properly. Then another thing is understanding the type of skin. So usually what happens is when we get a patient for skin issues, the major problem we face is to find out what type of skin they have, because skin is very much sensitive, and you make a mistake in identifying the type of the skin. You give them a medicine. What happens is the next day that person may develop a pimple, and developing a pimple or a skin rash, maybe if you don't understand the prakriti of a person, you give them a therapy for the hair management. The hair loss, the number of hairs they lose per day can just double the next day. And anything which is related to cosmetics, the response of the patient will be very, very strong, because cosmetics, is not a necessity. It is an option people have. It's their choice to look beautiful. So they spend a lot of money, and if they get an untoward reaction, their response will be very hard. So what does it leave us? We'll be hesitant. We'll lose our confidence to see the next patient. We'll be, what happens? What if another untoward reaction happens? What if this person tells bad about me and I lose the name? Let's see, obviously a doctor, when patients will come to the doctor when his previous patient says that, okay, this doctor is good. But when someone gives us a negative comment, it actually hampers our practice. So you will become hesitant to take up new cases. But that is just the challenges we have. But there is a lot of opportunities once you overcome this challenge. If you know, if you can get yourself accepted as a cosmetologist, you have a strong understanding of the skin types, what to be given for each type, and you have the confidence to treat patients. There is a lot of opportunities laying ahead of you. You can notice that most of the people have health conscious now. So with the like everything available at the flick of your fingers due to Google, people now understand. See, even if you go to the supermarket, before buying anything, you can notice that people have a check at the ingredients, maybe their calories, their nutritional values. So this actually is a very good favor for us, because there is a very drastic shift between the people going to the modern or the synthetic cosmetics and people coming over to the herbal cosmetics. And with very little investment. See, to start a cosmetology clinic, obviously, if it has to be something very posh, you need to invest some money. But when you are having it at a very small setup, if you just want to try, you see if it is picking up in your area, and then you can develop it later. You need very little investment to start off with your cosmetology clinic. So we'll just go into the subject proper. We all know the beauty care includes skin care, eye care, hair care, and food care. So I've divided the session as two, which is for healthy person. This comes under Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshana, and we have some of the case studies which has been done, like some of my case patient reports. I'm sharing it with you. So we'll see what is the requirement for a healthy person. So the first thing we get is a normal person comes to us with a normal skin, and they say, ma'am, I want something which is going to be making my skin healthy. Just let it remain healthier. As a preventive, as a treatment, they will need something. And there will be some people who will have excessively dry skin and some people who will have excessively oily skin. So how do you understand whether the person is having a normal skin or not? So normal skin, it is usually understood that will not be any T area will not be 2x. The T area, if you can make out on the third picture on the skin types, you have your forehead coming down to your nose. So that is the T area. So if you ask them to take a tissue paper and take a swab from that. So if it is no, it's not. There is no oil at all. It goes to the dry skin. Normal skin usually will have adequate oil and it will not be too oily. If it is too oily, the entire tissue would be soaked. So this is how you understand the skin type. But see, this is just a theory. You might need to see around a lot of people to understand or for you to come to the correct understanding. So you can start off next time you see a person, try to assess whether their skin type, what their skin type is and under which category it falls into. And the next complaint we always say is people want to improve their skin tone, and acne is one very big factor. Most of the people may be changing, starting from the adolescence. When they start getting acne, you have different types of acne. They are actually very much affecting a person's mental status. Some people usually, they come and cry saying that, you know, my face is very bad. I want to get rid of the acne. So you have different types of acne. You have the white heads, you have the black heads, and once maybe you are progressing towards your late 30s, early 30s from now, considering our lifestyle, you have the wrinkles also. So these are some of the common things which we may face once we start up a cosmetic clinic. So we'll just see what we can do for each type of people. So the normal healthy skincare routine, at least maybe once a week you can start. You can have your cleansing. You can use any skin toner. Maybe you can use rose water. You get skin toners available, or you can just make a cucumber juice or something. Cleanse your skin. You can give a massage, maybe 2 minutes with the toner only. You can apply a face pack. You can scrub or give a fermentation after the face pack. And once it is done, you can moisturize it. We'll see each step one by one. And there is also different steps of the directions of giving a face massage. It has to be ocular movement near to your eyes. It should be outward from your nasal. It should be round and round around your lips. And the cheeks, it should go from downward to upward. This forehead area also from the top bottom, then to the sides. So there are different procedures which is included, and the directions where the facial massage has to be done. So I'll explain one of a very common LEPA, which is given lot of results in managing a normal skin and in a dry skin. So Shastika LEPA is one very classical preparation. We all use it, but this is a variation of the normal Shastika LEPA, where we all usually for the Shastika Shali Pindasveta, we cook Shastika in Balamulak Vata. But when it comes to cosmetology, the kashaya you use is your choice. We usually take some Varniya kashaya like Mahamanjishtadi kashaya, or you can make a kashaya based on your combination. Like you can add some Manjishta, Rakta Chantana, turmeric, Lodra, whatever you feel is good for you and is available for you, and it is coming in your budget. You can take a combination of that, prepare the kashaya, and use that kashaya for cooking the Shastika LEPA. And once the Shastika LEPA is completely cooked, you make it into, either you can make it into a potli, a very small potli, and you can do that as a massage, or you can make it into a fine paste. You can grind it and use that paste as a face pack. So we used to this is one of our, Shastika LEPA is one of our main attractions in the bridal packs, because it is on 2 or 3 continuous applications, facial procedures, you get a very nice glow on your skin. But it is a very big no for anyone of oily skin type, because if you have oily skin, you apply Shastika LEPA, the next day you will get maybe big pimples, which is going to be suppurative, because Shastika by its nature is increasing your snigdhata, and it is a Brahmana LEPA. So we have to understand the skin type. This works very good for dry skin people and for normal skin people. So for oily skin people, you will have to choose the different types of medium. So here I have given Shastika LEPA is one medium which I have mentioned. The second one is Yava. Yava also is Varniya. It is not that snigdha as Shastika. So this is something which we can give for a person of oily skin. But there are still some people who are very oily, like their face will always have pimples. You can make out that it will be always glowing due to the excessive oil secretion. So for them, we have to take something with the Churna LEPA. So you can take a combination of any face pack, and you can prepare your own face pack also. And you can mix it maybe with rose water. Maybe you can use Manjishtadi Kashaya, or maybe you can use some fruit juices, make it into a paste and apply it. And once all these LEPAs, except for egg LEPA, all these LEPA, it has to be applied. It should not be let dry. Once you feel that it is getting dried from the edges, you have to start removing the LEPA, because if it's getting drier, your skin becomes still more ruksha, drier. So that will actually not give you the purpose of having the proper LEPA. Egg LEPA is another thing which we have found very effective in practice, because those who like non-vegetarians would know, if the egg white falls on your hands, maybe in a couple of minutes you feel that it gets stiff there, it gets hard. So we wanted something like, when for patients who have pustular acne, these pustules break and they have a very scar, which is actually like a depression on their faces. So this egg LEPA actually helps them tighten the skin. So for tightening packs, for wrinkles, egg LEPA is very good. So we use some drugs, we make a face pack combination. We add egg white to it, make a paste on it, and then apply it. So egg LEPA is the only thing where you can leave it for drying, because we actually need the tightening of the skin. So this is the basis for which, by which you can prepare a LEPA. And the kashaya or the powder, so let's for Churna LEPA. Some of the commonly used drugs, you can have the Varniya Mahagana, Kushtagna Gana. So for people who have skin diseases, you can have Kushtagna Gana. If it is associated with itching, you can have Kandugna or Udarta Prashamana. And for some people who usually use a lot of cosmetics, you can actually give them Vishakna Gana. So, and one more thing is for people who continuously use cosmetics, they say, ma'am, as a part of their job, see those who are like air hostess, those who work in very hi-fi hotels, resorts, their presentation, their job requires the use of these cosmetics. So for them, the first question they ask is what should we do, because avoiding cosmetics is not an option. So what we suggest is, Agatha says, like all the Visha conditions, ghee is considered to be better. So we always ask them, take a little bit ghee, apply it on the face, wash it off with some churda. Like I usually prepare, I have my own combination of face scrub, or we can have Siddhartha Kasnana Churna is very good. Nirmal bath powder of SDT Pharmacy is very good. Those are actually very good. So you can ask them to wash their face daily once they remove the cosmetic. Then another one of the most common complaint we get is stretch marks. So you will have stretch marks happening twice in your life, for females during pregnancy. And another common occurrence is when you lose your weight. So once you get it, okay, there are a lot of treatments. They say you can apply Navanita with Chandana. There are various lepa which is mentioned, but see, a person who is willing to lose weight, they will be determined. So whenever someone comes to me for a weight loss plan, the first thing I ask them is moisturize their skin daily. And any moisturizer with cocoa butter is found very effective because it keeps the skin hydrated for a longer period. And for pregnancy, before they start showing, like from the 3rd month onwards, we ask them to apply Dhanvantaram Thailam. So those who continuously apply daily Dhanvantaram Thailam, they don't even get a single stretch mark. And for weight loss, daily moisturizing with weekly once oil massage helps you control the stretch marks. And when it comes to skin, I told you most of the common things we have is acne and improving the complexion, melasma, etc. Hair care is gaining a lot of popularity right now. There are a lot of people starting from the very smaller age, young age, till the old people. They come for hair issues. So females, for them, most of them want a very long, thick hair, or the wavy people want a silky, smooth hair. And some people, like most of them, have the condition of dandruff. So they also want to have some treatment for that. When it comes to males, the most important thing is they don't want this. They want to control the androgenic pattern of balding. They want to have a good thick hair. And now another current trend is having a thick beard. So if you look into some like the online shopping sites, you can notice that a lot of beard oils have come into market. And they are priced very high, and they are nothing but the mixture of maybe 9 or 10 oils, starting from coconut oil, castor oil, almond oil, etc., which is priced very high. But there is a lot of demand for beard oil also. That is healthy people. The other ones, what we get is premature graying, then alopecia areata, excessive hair fall, and there is also like when you have PCOD issues, gynec issues, you have excessive hair growth on the skin, and as I told you, androgenic pattern of balding. So if you just look into the hair growth conditions of this, for a hair proper or nice healthy hair growth, what I usually suggest is daily head bath, daily application of oil, and daily head bath. And application of oil, you can have Nilibringyadi Taila, then Chembaratyadi, then Kesha Krishnekarna. There are so many oils we have. We can also prepare our own oils also. See, usually we have to understand the prakriti of a person. If it's a kapha prakriti person, it's always better to prepare oil with some tikshna dravyas. And if it is for other people, it is always better to have something cooling drugs. Like you want to have a person who always have recurrent allergies, respiratory issues. And if they come saying that they want to have a good hair oil, it's always better you can just take some kalka, make a kalka out of black jeera, maybe curry leaves and henna leaves, something which is very ushna, and make that samskara with the coconut oil and then prepare a hair oil. Otherwise, you can have small onions, aloe vera, bringaraja, amala, all these are which is having Shita Virya properties. You can have that and give it for people. The other normal, the rest of the people. Because hair oil is something when people say, if we say daily have a hair oil bath, they say, ma'am, like 3rd day, I get running nose, I come up with a fever. So this is one common complaint. So you can actually prepare a combination like that and give it. And for dandruff, one effective formulation is you take Triphala Chodna, You add a little bit of curd, you add 1 onion juice into it, make a paste, apply it over the scalp, leave it for 20 minutes, repeatedly do it for 2 to 3 sittings, maybe on once in a week or twice in a week. By 3 or 4 sittings, around 70 to 80% of the dandruff comes down. Hair oil for, hair growth for men also it is the same. And androgenic pattern of balding, if it is like, see, it usually runs in the family. So nowadays people are more aware of it, and we get patients from the age of 22, 23. They come and say that, see, my dad has this pattern of balding. I want to prevent it. And actually the result is very good when they come at a very earlier stage. And what I usually indulge in the principle is, if your hair follicle is active, you have a very less history of hair fall, and you are in a very young age, which is facilitating for a better hair growth, you can use any of the Upavishas, which is Cassia. So you have Gunja, you have Jayapala. These are local irritants which actually irritate the hair follicles and start initiating the hair growth process. You can combine it with some hair growth oil and you get very wonderful results if you start off. And for beard growth also, the best option is applying certain oils regularly and giving a massage. You have a lot of queries coming for premature graying of hair, which is even I have tried a lot of medicines, but they are not giving us a long-standing result. But anything with the anything which we use is Neeli, Bringaraja, Amlaki, Trifalamasi, on continuous usage, like around 3 months continuously, if you are using it, you get a better result. You can actually delay the graying process, but something on the line of herbal hair dye is still at a loss for me. And alopecia areata, you have this patchy loss of hair. What we usually do is Agni Karma Prachana is indicated. We have a technique of burning that area. We use some very tikshna oil, maybe the cashew oil or something, mix it with some mridu dravyas, burn that area, and once it starts healing, you get hair growth there. And hair loss, where it's excessive hair loss. So the normal count is like somewhere around 70 hairs. Losing 70 hairs a day is considered to be normal. But if it exceeds that, there are certain things, they say I would have tried so much oil which is available in market, but still the hair loss is not coming down. So always before starting the treatment, get their calcium profile done, vitamin D test done, because if there is a calcium deficiency or vitamin D deficiency, whatever you do externally is not going to help them control their hair loss. So if that is under control, what we have found in our clinical practices, if your pitta is kept controlled, that is if your body temperature, internal body temperature is kept under control, the hair fall reduces. And when it is excessive hair growth, which is seen associated with PCOD and other conditions, Loma Shatana powder and Taila is found effective, but the result is very long, that it takes like around 10 months to get a nice result. The another one common mistake people say is I lose a lot of hair when I comb my hair. So one thing what I have understood is very few people comb their hair daily. They just put it in a bun and maybe once or twice in a week they comb it properly. And the way they comb their hair is also a big mistake, because if you start combing your hair from the top downwards, that is, without undoing the knots, you start combing your hair from the top downwards, there will be a larger number of hair breakage. So you should always start combing your hair from the bottom, remove the knots and slowly go up, which will actually give a considerable difference in controlling the hair fall. Now, for a genuine or for a healthy person, these are some of the hair care regimen they can start. You can have a head massage. Daily applying head oil and giving a massage is not that easy. People don't do it, won't do it at all. So usually we ask them to take what I tell them, the amount of oil. They say, like, if you give oil application, your hair is very oily, you cannot shampoo it properly, your face becomes dark, your face becomes oily. So what I usually say is, if 100 ml of oil I'm giving them, it should last them for a month. So they need to use oil only in that much quantity. So initial 2-3 days it will be difficult, because your hair would be very dry. You might need to use it in a little more larger quantities, but once after that is controlled, you can actually use very little oil, that would be sufficient. And For hair growth purpose, you need to oil only your scalp. For if you're applying oil on your hair, that is only to maintain that the hair is not getting frizzier. So for proper hair growth, take some oil, apply it over the scalp, and always rub it in your hands to make it to your body temperature, and slowly apply it over the scalp. Leave for 20 minutes and wash it off. Most people, most places, they advise keeping of oil overnight. But usually there is people complaining that they have pain over their shoulders, swelling over their shoulders, and they may develop some kaphaja vikaras, but if they have the practice of doing it for a continuously longer period. So this is done, and once, how often can you shampoo? So I usually recommend maybe once or twice in a week, that too, diluting the shampoo and using it. For the other days, we have various herbal hair wash powders, which has basic contents like amla, shikakai, and hibiscus, etc. So that is very much sufficient to remove the oil from your hair. Then once in a week, you can always pamper yourself with the hair steam fermentation to your hair. You need not require all the sophisticated steamers. You can just soak a very large turkey towel in hot water and wrap your hair. But that should be done only after properly oleating your hair. You have to give an oil massage and then do this. And maybe once or twice in a month, you can apply a hair pack, which is actually nourishing your hair. Hair pack also, most of the people have a habit of applying henna pack. So you just make henna the base, add a little bit of amla powder. You just go out to your home. If you see some onions, add an onion juice. If you have aloe vera, add a leaf of aloe vera, a little bit of curd. Maybe if you have some bringaraja or anything cassia found in your nearby your home, add those also and prepare a hair pack, and you can apply it once or twice in a month. The next important thing is eye care. So the most common problems, especially where everything is now online, you have burning eyes. Then people stay awake looking into their phones till late night. You develop dark circles or maybe wrinkles around your eyes. And one more thing is the puffy eyes. You don't get a good sleep. The next day morning, you get a puffy eyes. So what can you do for that? So regularly giving a eye massage is beneficial. So if it is, there is a different directions you have to come from outside inward, then inward outside, ocular movement, and then close it with the entire thumbs. This is one method, and you can use any oils. Like if it is in the face, you can use Eladi, you can use Nalpamaradi, etc. And if it is very much specifically for your eyes, you can use Kshirabala, etc. Next is dark circles. So dark circles, we are finding very good results with our Shashtika Lepa. And also Kumkumadi Taila, if they're giving an application like 1 or 2 drops of Kumkumadi Taila, massage every night, and fermentation with their hands, that is rubbing Hastasveta. If they rub their hands and give a fermentation, that much is sufficient. For wrinkles, we have found very good treatment with the egg packs for curing the wrinkles. And for puffy eyes, if you have, there are most of the days, you have a function, the night you will not have you might have a disturbed sleep, thinking that, you may be late, what if something goes wrong? And what happens is you end up getting up with a puffy eyes. And it is actually making us hesitant to go out, because that is one day, it might be a function where you want to look good. So usually you take an ice cube, you rub the area, puffiness around the eyes, it actually comes down. And if you want to give it a twist, you can always make the ice cubes with cucumber juice or something. So make a cucumber juice, put it in the ice trays, use that for rubbing, and you get very wonderful results. And a lot of people now have started making their own kajal. So for burning eyes, this is one effective medication which we have found. So you can have the basic things. You can have 2 badam and maybe some neem leaves, some bringaraja or anything. Make a batti out of that, dip it in ghee or in castor oil, burn it. So once you burn it, you might get fine ashes, fine powder, suit like kajal. You can mix it with the ghee or mix it with the castor oil only, and you can use it as a herbal kajal, which actually gives you a cooling effect, which lasts for like 2 to 3 hours. So this is one effective combination all of you can try out. Next is the foot and hand care. And so most of us like now, so males also come for getting a pedicure and manicure. Usually, they would want a hand care. See, those who usually use the mopeds, they go out, they have the suntan which is happening over their hands, and most of the people have cracked heels and sleeplessness. We say Padabhyanga helps you get a good sleep. So for people who complain of having disturbed sleep, Padabhyanga is one good thing. And the procedures, like if you want to have a detan, Shastika Lepa is very good. So if you prepare Shastika Lepa and keep it at your home, you can refrigerate it for 2 to 3 days. When you are going out and you come back, you can apply the Shastika Lepa. You can make it to the room temperature. You should not heat it again. Keep it outside, make it to the room temperature, apply a Lepa over your hands, maybe your face and all. You get a very good detan effect. It's always better to prepare it fresh, but cooking Shastika is very difficult. So what we usually do is we ask them to soak it, and the soaked ones we keep it in the fridge so that you give another single whistle and make a paste out of it. So if you want to do a pedicure or manicure, usually those who have done it, you would know that they will wash your foot from the knee downwards or from your elbow or from your hand. They will wash your body part, and with what? Usually they use rose water. If it is like a very, you want to have a very posh cosmetic clinic, you can start with milk with some rose petals. Maybe if it is just therapeutic, you can use some Batnya Kashaya, Manjushtadi Kashaya, Nalpamaradi Kashaya, Panchavalkala. All these are good options. So once you do the Chalana, you can actually give a scrub. For scrub, you can use maybe green gram parsley powdered. Some people take the lemon peel, squeeze it up, put sugar inside that and use that for scrubbing. Then, you soak your food. This Avagaha is done. For that, you can use the same kashayas. Then Abhyanga is done. So Abhyanga, you actually give a massage. After Avagaha, some people actually, they file your nails. They just take, you have the cuticle removers and all that. So that and all can be done. You can use those instruments, or you can just take some very coarse powders and use it for cleansing the dead cells, removing the dead cells of the foot between the toes and etc. Then you do Abhyanga. Abhyanga, see, if you have complaints like cracked foot or something, you can use Jivanti Adiyamata, you can use Pinda Taila. But if it's like a general thing, you can use Nalpamaradi, etc. Give Abhyanga on both the legs. It's always better if you have two people doing it simultaneously. Then you can have a Lepa. So the Lepa, it varies from the normal Multani Miti, or maybe you can have your own combination. You can have the base as Multani Miti, add some herbs to it, make a decoction out, make a paste of that and apply it. And once you remove the Lepa, always for any Lepa, be it the skin, be it the face one or the foot, hand, etc. Moisturize the skin before you will let the person go out, because all the other pre-procedures actually make your pores open. So if you don't apply any moisturizer, there can be accumulation of the dirt into the pores and it can harm the skin. It will not give you the desired result. So you can moisturize it and then go. Now we'll see some of the cases. Like I told you, we have some Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam also. So I think I've presented these cases in another webinar which I've done, but for those people who have not seen it, so this is a case, maybe this was my first case in Udupi, which had a medical cosmetology. Usually we had only cosmetic complaints like pimple, hair fall, etc. So this was a drug-induced hyperpigmentation. So we had this patient, this was her condition before she had this disease. And for her, they had taken, like she has taken all treatments, including chemical peeling, etc. What happened was she had some family issues. And at the same time, she got her teeth removed. And there was some complication wherein she was administered some heavy steroids and antibiotics. Along with that, she had this family issues and she was like all of a sudden from her neck upwards, it started getting hyperpigmented. So the line of treatment I have taken was Dushi Visha treatment, because if you look into how Dushi Visha is mentioned, any Stavara Visha, Jankama Visha or Kritrama Visha, if it is not properly expelled out and it is subjected to Dushita Desha Kala Annam, it can produce some untoward results. So here I've taken the overdose of steroids or the modern allopathic medication as a sort of Garavisha, because Garavisha includes Aushadas also. So that it is an artificial medicine. So I considered that she was on a higher dose, and the factor she was undergoing some stress, maybe she was very depressed. All that in Dushita Desha Kala Anna. Anna, if you look into the commentary, they have put Vyayama, Vyavaya, Krota, Shoka. So the mental factors are also there. So this might have triggered her up, and she had developed this hyperpigmentation. And when she was referred this, I've taken her permission and have given the complete face, because the symptom was mostly around her eyes. So she had excessive scaling, excessive dryness over her eyelids, and uneven discoloration, to such an extent that people started, she was not recognized by the people whom was close to her also. So this further led to her depression. And one more thing was, she is very much intolerant to internal medicines. She cannot have anything internal which will actually aggravate it. So when I first tried to give her some kashayas and all, she was like, I have to take it standing next to the toilet, because as soon as she drinks, she will have loose stools and she has to rush into the. We had was to control it through external treatment. So on the first picture, you can see this was when she came to us. In the second picture, that was after 7 days of Shashtika Lepa, you can notice that the skin has become more smoother. And this is on various progressions of the disease. Initially, we started only with Shashtika Lepa daily for 2 weeks. Then slowly we made it like on alternate days. And once her skin started getting smoother, we reduced it to like 8 to 10 sittings in a month. And at home, on the other day, she was asked to apply Nalpamaradi and wash the face with Manjishtadi Kashaya, given a scrub with Nirmal Bath powder. And all of a sudden, she had developed a rhinitis, for which she had to take a Ayurvedic medicine only. The next day, the condition had aggravated her. And but because she was on medication, within 2 or 3 Virechanas, we had given with Drakshadi. We had asked her to take Draksha, boil it and take Virechana. It was controlled. So this is her before the treatment, and this is her with the treatment. Then this is scarring post acne. I told you we have good treatment for post acne, because acne, she had pustular acne, and it was very much pustular. It becomes a big pustule. It used to break and it used to scar her. So she also is from Manipal, and she had consulted the modern cosmetologist as well. So what the line of treatment we had planned was Brahmana, because we had to fill in the scars. But Brahmana treatment actually makes her get new pustular acne. So what we did was, when she comes for the treatment, we had asked her to wash her face with Triphala Kvada, because it was Rukshana for her. So twice or thrice wash the face with Triphala Kvada, then come and get a Shashtika Lepa done. And alternate days, we had a skin tightening, which was done with egg Lepa. So this was after 3 months of it. You can notice that from this side, how much, like on the first picture, first part, whatever scarring was there, it had reduced it considerably, but it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. This is also pustular acne vulgaris. She also had a lot of acne issues when she came to us. We started with basic Dushi Vishari tap, Triphala Kvata application, and washing Triphala Kvata of an 8-year-old child. For this also, see, when it comes to psoriasis, there is always a cosmetic effect included, because they say that first their concern would be they have to get rid of the symptoms. But once the symptoms are under control, the next major concern they face is, will it come back to my normal self and all. So psoriasis is one. This is another case which I had. So this is a 13-year-old girl. She had this case from her 7 years. So this is it has a history of 7 years. And the only condition she had was like, madam, I want to be like a normal child. I want to wear some shorts, skirts. I want to, not short skirts, I want to wear skirts and go. Because for her, this was the major area affected. The next area affected was the knee. The first picture was on January 1st when she's from Maharashtra and she has come all over to Trivandrum for the consultation. And this was on January 1st when she had come to us. And the next picture of hers is in April last. I couldn't get the latest picture, but you can see that whatever she had suffered, like in the 7 years of management, whatever she could not achieve, it was purely based on, we had started off with 1 week continuous Virechana, which is something which my dad practices, 1 week of Mridu Virechana. It will be not completely Mridu, like around 6 to 7 Vegas per day. We take in the kashaya, which is suitable for this condition. We mix the kashaya itself. We have a combination of kashaya including nimba, ara, ashwagandha, daru haritra, etc. That is a mild laxative. We add in some icha bedi to it to give a continuous Virechana for 5 to 6 days, and then we start off with the treatment. So what usually happens is, once you start off with the Virechana, by the 3rd day, the major concerns like itching, oozing, all that comes down, and your body starts responding to the medicines a bit more faster. Then we had started with Nimbadi Kashaya, Aragvadadi Kashaya, and Madhusnuhi Kashaya. We made a combination out of that, and that is taken with Aragvada Mahatiktaka Grita. We have our oil prepared with Shweta Kidacha as a main ingredient that was applied. And we had asked her to take a small, that herbal scrub is there, slowly scrub the area so that it makes the thickness of the skin come down. So this is another case of psoriasis which requires this cosmetic importance. And this is my brother-in-law. He also, his complaint was receding hairline. It was at a very beginning stage, but he has a history, his family has a history of balding. So this is the treatment in 45 days. If you can notice in the first picture, the hairline is quite receded back. In 45 days, there is considerable improvement in the hair growth. So I have chosen the drug of choice was Jayapala. So any medicine with Jayapala, we can apply it. And it is usually done under supervision, because the reactions are some people, they feel as if their entire body is burning up. Some people may develop some boils in 2 to 3 days. Some people, if it is not removed properly, they feel dizziness, blurring of vision, etc. So all these has to be considered. But now we are taking it through teleconsultation also. We have patients for this, because we give them a very strict rules, because the diet also which goes in during this treatment is very important, because anything which is aggravating pitta can cause in workout, the time they do their exercises, it aggravates the condition. So all these are major concerns, but keep it aside, the result was very good. So we should all understand, beautiful skin requires commitment. It is never a miracle. You have to invest your time, you have to invest your energy. And time is major thing, because usually it is a longer process. People get bored in between, they leave it. Skincare is essential, but makeup is a choice. So always you have to make a good choice. You can always keep on the makeup and have some skincare routine which will help you have a good skin. So the earlier you start working on something, the earlier you will see the results. So don't wait till you get a unhealthy skin and then start taking the initiative. You know, as you progress, you age, your skin also starts losing the luster, or it also ages with you. So always consider that in mind, keep that in mind, and have an earlier intervention. Thank you. So if you have any questions, you can drop it in. I think I'll be taking the questions now.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the session is open for discussions. Okay. Ma'am, there are a few questions, since there are a lot of questions. We have selected a few. First question, ma'am. In egg lepa, whether both egg white and yolk are to be used?
No, egg white. Only egg white.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Next question. Is there any remedy for early graying?
The early graying is something which is, see, you have oils which has Bringaraja, Neeli, etc. That will actually help you. And now there are so many studies which says that Nathya with any oil containing Bringaraja. So it can just be an oil which is made with Bringaraja. You take it as a Nathya. It will help you control the premature hair graying. But as a remedy, it is, we don't have any, because when I was in Udupi, we had even tried Vibhidaki Majjataila, but that also didn't work out as it is mentioned. So this is.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question. How to get rid of split ends?
Split ends, actually, once you start getting split ends, it's always better to cut them off. But if you start nourishing your hair, you give a hair pack once in 2 weeks ideally, with henna, aragvada churna. If you don't have churna, you can just take aragvada patra, the guava leaves, maybe bringaraja, aloe vera, make whatever is needed there. You just apply that, make it into a hair pack, and with eggs also. Egg also is a very good protein for your hair. So once you do all that, it can control it. But if there is a split end, it is always better to cut them off from the end.
Thank you, ma'am. Hope that doubt was clear. Next question. What should be the thickness of Lomasthana lepa, and how long should this lepa be present on the skin?
Okay, so usually Lomashatana, what I use is Prakriti pharmacies. So what we have is we ask them to use it once in 15 days. So we ask them to thread, you go for a threading, remove the facial hair, make a paste out of this Lomashatana churna, add normal water, make a paste, apply a thin layer of it and leave it for 2 hours. And after 2 hours is done, you just wash it off and remove it. And you can notice that in between there will be a lot of thinning of the hair. And in between this application of the lepas, we ask them to use Lomashatana oil for massage, because you can use this lepa only twice in a month. So the rest of the time you can use the Lomashatana oil.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question. Can Multani Mitti be applied on a person with Vata Prakriti and dry skin?
See, Multani Mitti and all is a very broad, very generic thing. So always you have to make a combination understanding the Prakriti of a person. That is the difference between a beautician and a cosmetologist. So you have various options. Like, see, for Vata Prakriti person, we usually have a base of Shashtika because it is very snigdha. It controls the dryness very effectively. So you can have your own combination which is available, because the Shashtika, the original Shashtika is not available now. Most of the people, they just use boiled rice, which is actually not the actual Shashtika. So some people actually, they use white rice as Shashtika lepa. But that is better than using a Multani Mitti. So it is your yukti by which you take the base of it.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving to the next question. What is the utility of vitamin C for skin, or is it just a hype? Is it necessary for conditioning one's hair?
It's not, they don't say it is just a hype, but usually we find it, see, I don't know, research based and all, we have not read into it, but usually when we have a little bit of vitamin C added onto your hair packs and etc., this actually helps you control the frizziness of the hair, maybe as you told, split ends, etc. We have noticed that it is coming down considerably. So I'm not sure on how it is affecting internally and all that, but I feel it is effective by practical experience.
Thank you, ma'am. Hope that out was clear. Now moving to the next question. What to do for cracked heels?
Okay, so usually cracked heels, what we ask them is, we ask them to give like 2-3 days nicely oleate, apply oil. Usually we can have Pindataila, Jeevantyadi Yamaka. So once you keep applying it, you can notice that skin becomes softer. And once the skin becomes softer, you will have these scrubbers. You get these filers for the foot. Use that and remove the dead skin. Don't do it in a stretch. Slowly start removing little by, and then soak it in hot water. Put some salt in it if you don't have any other kashai or anything. Repeat the process till you can remove all the skin. And once you remove off these cracked heels or the hardened skin in that, make sure you moisturize your skin daily. So that is one effective way of preventing you getting it again. But the drug will be Pindataila and Jeevantyadi Yamaka.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Moving to the next question. What to do for hyperpigmentation of lips?
See, hyperpigmentation of lips, as far as I've understood, it is closely related to Vata Prakriti people, or some people who continuously use cosmetics. So, see, for instant results, like if you have a function, you want something, you take like 2-3 drops of glycerin, add a vitamin E, half of vitamin E tablet, and a little bit of lemon juice, and you can put that in a small container. You keep repeatedly applying it, it lessens down. But usually if you drink enough water, you keep your skin hydrated, this darkness comes down. And if your bowel movement is clear, if you don't have constipation and all, it comes down. And one more thing is scrubbing or removing the dead skins, which actually can be done using as I told you, you can take the lemon peel, add some sugar, use that for rubbing. All these help. And applying Mahatikta helps a lot, but people find it difficult because it's a lip, it goes inside, you will not be used to the taste. But once you keep applying it, you will notice that okay, you can manage the taste well, and your skin will also be looking good.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question, how to manage keloid?
Yeah, keloid is, see, I have tried having Shastika Lepa in that, but it is a very strenuous process or maybe a time consuming process. It was not that fruitful, but I've heard Jalauka is giving wonderful results, but I have not tried it. But Jalauka is considered to be a very good treatment for managing keloids, but I have not tried it.
Thank you, ma'am. How to make Shastika Lepa, and can we preserve it in fridge?
See, essentially, Shastika Lepa has to be prepared fresh. We say we are against refrigerating it, but what we can, those who have prepared Shastika Lepa or those who use that rice for eating also, you'll understand it takes like around 10 to 12 whistles in a low flame for it to be cooked properly. So usually we ask the patients to tell us, we give them appointments. So we know like in this day we might get around 3-4 Shastika Lepas. The previous day we prepare the kashaya, we soak this Shastika Shali in that kashaya, and the next day, so overnight when you soak it, and the next day maybe like around 2 to 3 whistles it gets cooked properly. And once it has to be it has to get mushy. It has to be overcooked, and once it is overcooked, you can make a paste of it in using the mixer. It's always better not to keep it in fridge, but if at all you want to keep it in the fridge, I would always ask you to keep the soaked rice in the fridge, not the lepa. So next day you can just add some more kashaya and cook it and make a paste. That would be better.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving to the next question, what can be applied as an Ayurvedic moisturizer?
Okay, so moisturizer, once in a week having an oil bath is one good option. The other one is maybe you can prepare aloe vera gels and all. You'll get a lot of DIYs videos showing you how to make a aloe vera moisturizer. That is also something very good which you can try. I think I've got one question which has come in my private chat from Dr. Vidya. She has asked me how to explain the Jayapala use in androgenic pattern. I'll just take that question. She has raised her hands also. Okay. So Jayapala, the drug I use is Ichabeti. But see, there are some people who use Ananda Bhairava Rasa and all that. Any drug, any medicine which has Gunja or Jayapala, you can use that. We actually soak it in Nimbu Swarasa overnight and make a paste of it and apply it over. You just do some little bit rubbing over the hair loss area. Like you give a little bit pressure just to increase the vascularity and apply this. And it depends on the person. It depends on the Pitta Prakriti person. If they are sure to develop 1 or 2 adverse drug reaction to it, but we have to make sure, tell the patient, see, this is not a side effect or something, this is expected. And once that is done, you can remove it. It depends, like the time periods varies from 10 to 20 minutes, you vary it and you remove it and apply hair oil and then take a normal hair bath.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any practical experience with nail bed infection?
No, not much.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Next question, how to get rid of warts in skin?
Okay, so usually they say Agni Karma, but if it is like a corn, if it is caused by the HPV virus, now you get a corn cap. So corn cap is available. You have the Hansoplast and all, they prepared corn cap. So it is like a normal band-aid only. But in the middle of the band-aid, you will have some like a small rubber tube, which has a opening inside. It is filled with some medicine. So you keep that medicine over this wart and close it for 2 days. Don't open it. And on the third day, when you open it, you can notice that the corn is getting, or this water is coming off from the edges. So just try giving it a pull. And if it is coming out, let it be. You can just, after that, you wash the area with Triphala and leave it as such. But if it is not coming out, if the water is deep rooted, remove this band-aid and put another corn wrap over it. And usually, even if it is very deep rooted, it goes off, it comes off in 2 or 3 band-aids. So that is what I do, and I find the results with that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is there any Ayurvedic combination for a hair dye? There any ingredients which can be used as a hair dye?
We have tried a lot, but we have not found anything which is going to last, because we have tried with Triphala Masi, we have done with flax seeds, we have done with Vibhita Ki Majja, we have so many things we have tried. Neeli powder, it didn't work out. To be honest, I have seen so many people claiming that they have a herbal hair dye without any chemicals, but I have tried a lot. Not just me, our cosmetology unit back in Udupi had tried a lot of combinations, but we didn't get a sustaining result. So,
thank you, ma'am. Well, daily head bath, can we use shampoo daily?
No. So usually what the shampoo I suggest is Mira herbal hair wash shampoo and the powder, or Johnson's baby shampoo, because it is very mild. How do you understand whether a shampoo is mild? See, if you when you're washing your hair with the shampoo, if it goes into your eyes and it does not cause any burning or stinging sensation, you can understand it's on the milder side. Okay, so even that I ask them to dilute it with water, half quantity, and then use it for washing the hair. I usually use twice a week Mira shampoo, and all the other 5 days I use Mira herbal hair wash powder. So you take a spoon of that powder, mix it with water, it lathers like your shampoo, and use that water for washing of the hair. So that is very effective. I've been using that since 10, 12 years.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there are a lot of suggestions from requests from the participants whether you will be conducting some workshops on Ayurvedic cosmetology.
We are starting an Ayurvedic cosmetology with the Diksha e-learning platform from August 30th. So it will be having it's a hands-on training. So you'll be wondering how it's going to be a hands-on training on an online platform. So we'll be telling you what we'll be conducting the previous week, and we will do it together. You will be doing it at your home. I'll be doing it from my clinic. So see, listening to it, you find it is easy. Okay, maybe we can do it. But once you get a person, you start doing it, you get confused. You're like, is it the correct way? You will have a lot of questions. So once we start doing it together, you can clear your questions. I can guide you enough. So anyone interested, please do click on this link which is provided in the chat, and you can always join for this course.
Thank you, ma'am. So that is the questions, ma'am. So
I have got 2 questions from in the chat box. One is melasma treatment. So Shashtika Lepa is, I'm finding very good results with the melasma treatment, and we use Nalpamaradi Eladi oil. That is also giving us good results. And finally, see, melasma is something which happens over age. So if you moisturize your skin, if you take care of your skin at a very earlier stage, you can understand that melasma can be managed very nicely. And one more question is home remedy for dandruff. So I told you, see, Triphala is one very effective thing, and Triphala, I think most of the Ayurveda doctors will have it at their home. But if you don't have it, at least use curd and onion juice and apply it over the scalp. That also gives you nice results. So I'm done with the questions.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So can we conclude, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. To deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Dr. Devi S. Nair, Assistant Professor, Department of Roganidana, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore.
Thank you, Jyotsna. Respected principal and listeners, after hearing the interesting talk on a topic which is still under wrap and whole world is curious to explore, without cosmetics, there is not a single day in our life. So I am extremely happy to thank Dr. Amala Jyoti. Surely you evoked this career in the mind of many Ayurveda doctors who listen to your talk. I would also like to thank her for sharing concept along with elaborated explanations, case presentations, and also small tips everyone can practice in a regular basis. She made us aware that all that written herbal is not Ayurveda and never go away from our concepts of Prakriti, Desha, Kaladi while dealing with cosmetology. Great applause, Doctor. I would also like to thank all present here who made this webinar a success. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Quoting Sidney D. Henrys, the whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into window. Thank you, ma'am, for opening a new window of Ayurvedic cosmetology to us. With that, we come to an end of Day 9 of Samsiddhi 2020 National Web Conference Series. It was a great opportunity listening to you, ma'am. Now, to speak a few words about this wonderful and informative session, I would like to invite our beloved principal, Dr. Sudhir Raj, sir. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Yes, it was a very wonderful section, and I think Madam motivated all the participants because it is an area where we are not aware about the scope. So Madam opened that scope. So I think many people from Ayurveda will come for this cosmetology wing to develop. Because in all India base also, if you are seeing very few centers of purely Ayurvedic cosmetology is running. So I think by this motivation class and some courses also available. So with that, we can get more chances for the Ayurvedic doctors, because Ayurveda is a great science where you will be having so many combinations which can be used for cosmetology purpose. As Madam told that Shastiga, Annalapa and all very effective. Even Shastiga, Pindaseda also in a small kiddy, like you can do. So much of potential is there in cosmetology. So I think everyone enjoyed the section. Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. It was nice having presented in this platform. Thank you.